head with a book or whatever, and now he's in court and he won't give his name. I can see how, if let's say it was some traffic thing or like the people at Rawsome Foods who, and I want to just mention though about Rawsome Foods that the evidence came out later that Sharon Palmer, whatever, that she was, a con artist. She had prior convictions for fraud and things like that. But that's neither here nor there, because the point is still that they were operating on the private side, and they were saying we are doing this at our own risk privately, like Max was saying. If you and I here now decide to engage in any kind of transaction, you want to lend me money, I want to sell you something, we want to do whatever, it remains between the two of us.
That's right.
And this can be extended to a larger group of people. As long as it's not a public thing, it's private, and it's agreed that it's private by consent, private membership.
That's right.
So 1 second. So this is the same point as with Rawsome Foods, that they're saying, you see, we have all these laws that they say you can't sell lemonade without a license, you can't sell your Girl Scout cookies, you can't do this, you can't do that, you got to walk on the right side of the street from now on and wear green socks. And people are saying, well, this is enough. We don't want to be nannied like this. So they're trying to operate on the private side or reclaim power of attorney over their own name or reclaim their sovereignty in various ways. And so for George, this is the way that he's been going about it, with him being under the law of God, with Jesus as his counselor. That's his personal way of doing it, but we can learn a lot from looking at these things, at least in terms of thinking outside of the box when it comes to at least the law and the legal system.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, I think most of the problems in our current society right now don't stem from the court system and all this stuff being incorrect. There's one malignancy or one serious problem that I see with the whole system is that corporations are also considered persons.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Just as you and I are considered persons. Now, if a person and a corporation are the same thing, and a person...
What does that tell you about what a person is? It's
like
not a human being. That's
you yourself are comprised of.
Yeah.
However many times you have picked up a pen and signed that first and last name and thereby authorized with your free will to assume that name that is not yours and created a person. Now, all of those persons, you are responsible for all of those things. You filled out an application, and that right there is your corporation. You are literally either the trustee or the CEO or the beneficiary or this is the thing, is you, everybody, I suggest this is the smartest thing that you can do. Go out and register a BIN number, register a business number, okay? A number, and what is the name of the business? Your Name, Inc. First and last name, Inc. If you ever have any problems in court, you simply say that you were acting your business. And at that time, you weren't working. Now, you can do the same thing with your SIN number. This is what a great guy out in Winnipeg is talking about lately, Dean Clifford. You can look him up on freemanitoba.com, I believe. And it's just that simple. Are you working or are you not working? You have your birth certificate. That's your straw man. It's Wizard of Oz, as we spoke about last time on the radio. In the archives, you can look it up. And the Tin Man is your SIN card or your tax identification number. And it all gets down to voluntary slavery. You are becoming a voluntary slave. Whether you know it or not, you are volunteering to be a slave. Involuntary slavery was abolished a long time ago, and those who were involuntary slaves were given the ability to own their own person. So they became their own corporation, managing their own assets and liabilities, and thereby needing to be a corporation. And in order to operate in the public, they needed to be able to operate publicly and privately. We all have the choice to operate publicly or privately. But when you operate privately, you are using a name that may not be yours.
Well, we're going into a break. Stay tuned. I'll be back. Wrap up in a moment. 16th of August. The chat room is open. That's TrutherGirls.chatango.com. And I'm here with Max Radko of Grasshopper Media. We're talking about the case of Farmer George and also the issue of your name as a legal fiction and what is a corporation. I just wanted to say, Max, it's good you brought up this issue of corporations having equal legal status to persons, because most people would think that you're starting with the person having a status as a human being and the corporation having been given the status of a human being. But what it really is that you are not you, the human body, mind, soul, spirit, whatever. You are a legal fiction yourself, and the corporation is equivalent in the law to in terms
you
of
can
that.
assume a legal fiction. You can say, yes, I am the legal fiction. When the police officer asks you, who are you? And you pull out your ID and you hold up a picture of yourself, which is a beheaded, graven image, and you say, yes, that is who I am. I am this. I am not the... Because if I'm standing in front of a police officer and say, I'm right here. You know, you know me. If you don't know me, it's not my fault. You know, and I'm a nice guy, and I'm in peace. There's a thing called King's Peace. You can look it up in any legal dictionary. And in there, you'll find it's the King's Peace. Is it something that this is what peace officers swear to do? They swear to uphold the peace and maintain their own peace, basically, right? And serve the public. Well, what if I want to be in peace? Why is a police officer allowed to come up to me and assume that I may or may not be breaching the peace without having some sort of evidence? Now, when they're pulling us over for legal acts and statute
like
violations,
a broken taillight or something.
Broken taillight, I got pulled over very recently for having a sign in the back window of my car. It was a yellow sign from Parks Canada. It said park boundary on it, okay? The police officer from the OPP of Meaford Detachment next to Owen Sound pulled us over and said that was his reason for pulling us over.
Assuming that you've stolen it.
Assuming that I had stolen it. He wanted to confirm that it was stolen or not. He took my word for it that it was not stolen. Why would I have stolen property in the back of my car? Why would they assume that I would have stolen property?
Out for all to see.
And why would I put it in the back window? Exactly. Why would I put it there for them to see it? Am I baiting them? I am not baiting the police. The police, in my personal life over the last 3 months, I have been followed by police. I have been watched by police. George's case is I wouldn't say that it's high profile at this point. I would say that it's very quality profile. What's happening here is we, the People Press and Grasshopper Media, we've been there for for definitely all of the appearances that George has had, and we're just covering it as best we can. We understand the Courts of Justice Act 136, okay, with 1, 2, and 3. Number 2 and 3 being subsections that are clauses for Section 1. We don't intend to broadcast all of the footage that we are acquiring while being at the court case. However, we do every single flesh and blood has the ability to go to Zellers or Walmart or wherever you go and buy a camera. It's not illegal to buy a camera. And go to wherever you want to go and videotape whatever you want to and create personal intellectual property that may or may not be used to protect you later. Because this is what we're doing. In this day and age, we need to protect ourselves in 2011. And that's what Grasshopper Media has been doing for the last couple of years, is we've just been videotaping as much as we can. And I'm telling you right now, it is a proven fact in my mind that when you have a camera, it changes the situation. Not always necessarily in your favor, especially right off the bat, but it does prove to give you the ability to protect yourself. If you don't have any protection, if you don't have a camera, or if a police officer has in some way intimidated you to stop filming them, you have just given them the authority to do whatever they want.